Hi, I wanted to make a small video about the recent Bitcoin crash and the way that I believe I perceive it from the articles that I read on Coinbase. And it seems to me that miners are trying to unload their Bitcoin, but there are not many buyers. And this because of economic situation due to COVID. But I also believe there's the crypto community is catching on to the fact that you can put a Bitcoin onto the Ethereum network, and it's kind of moving demand away from Bitcoin because now people are realizing it's just a token, right? It doesn't have utility beyond a representation and storage of value. The blockchain itself is transparent, so many people have been anarchists who purported the privacy and invisibility of the transactions are, it's actually the reverse, right? So there's been some misconceptions. The very first utilities or sites that utilized, Bitcoin, the operators were caught. We're talking about Ulbricht and Silk Road specifically. And I don't go on the darknet. There's really nothing for me on the darknet. I don't need anything there. So I don't, and plus I'm not a security researcher. I'm a software engineer. So my career field also doesn't include me into just snooping around and seeing what's going on and carding and all these other nefarious activities that hackers do. So that being said, there is a mainstream applications and that are not, and that by that I mean decentralized exchanges, DeFi, and all these other things that are just so powerful. And now you don't need Coinbase. Now you don't need institutions to allow you to hop onto the blockchain. So there's a lot more. I mean, you could still purchase it from an institution like Coinbase or a banking situation or something of that nature. But once you have entry onto the network, and then you can be free thanks to decentralized exchanges, and that's utility that could have never come out of Bitcoin because it doesn't have the ability to actually compute. It's not a computational network. And I believe this is why we're seeing the recent drop in Bitcoin value, and it's actually affected the entire market because there's this spiritual connection or attachment to the first cryptocurrency, which, like, as soon as I saw it, I said, this thing is going to get copy pasted a million times. It's never going to take off the ground. And then you have wackos like McAfee, who I think he should have eaten himself by now. Right. So what I'm trying to say is the argument for the flippening originally, I think, is becoming a lot more real, and there's going to be a real shakedown of crypto as we saw with Bitcoin Cash. It's not going past 250 ever again. Why? Because number one, we have a real issue with the heat that is generated from the mining activities and global warming. So proof of stake is the only real alternative, and it's going to actually lower a lot of the energy consumption, and it's going to be good for the environment. So I'm not sure, if you need a hard fork, yet another hard fork off of Bitcoin, right? And this one would leave the original Bitcoin behind. Either way you look at it, you need a second iteration of Bitcoin in order to take advantage of the discoveries that we've had since the inception of cryptocurrency. It's just fact. It's evolution. It's undeniable, inevitable even. It has to occur in this fashion. There were too much. It's a great entry. I mean, I have to say, but there's too much waste. There's too much. First of all, ASIC chips. No one had accounted for that. Right? It was supposed to be a peer-to-peer decentralized currency. People could use it on their own computers and things, and it was originally. But the competition and the complexity of it has gotten beyond the reach of average consumers. And so that, in a sense, as well, has taken away from the spirit. That's why proof of stake brings it back brings it back to the individuals who actually hold the coin. So this is very interesting, and this is why I believe that this is why we had a dip recently. We went from 12 past 10. We went to like 9.8. So a lot of boundaries were broken, and I think that's more because of the utility of Ethereum, the ability to wrap Bitcoins onto that network. And this is my advice to all you miners out there. Instead of trying to sell your Bitcoin directly, instead of taking it to an exchange and trying to sell it, wrap it, and put it onto Ethereum blockchain, and then enjoy your profits that way. Otherwise, you're going to see shakeouts like this. So selling Bitcoin directly, I don't think is going to be a viable option going into the future. But transferring the value from that particular process or in blockchain and putting it over to the Ethereum network is still good. Now, unfortunately, that still causes environmental issues. So the real truth of the matter is Bitcoin kind of just has to go away, or it has to go to a second iteration of proof of stake, which is a hard fork, I believe, if that's even possible. So I haven't read all the research because it's just a lot. But when you see 20% of your, not even, man, I saw a lot of my money go away in the last week. And I'm one of the people who just holds on for dear life. Like, I don't give a, I just hold. So I'm stupid. Don't follow my lead. Be a good trader. Use decentralized exchanges to save value, which is, I have to learn that next. Right? But I have to say that, like, what I've been watching with the developments of DeFi, decentralized exchanges, man, I'm trying to even get away from, Coinbase. So I believe even like interactions like on Mycelium or forums are the right way to acquire coin. The only problem there is the legality of currency exchanges in the countries, and I've heard of people getting arrested for money laundering or not operating without a license, things of that nature. So you have to be careful there, because the law enforcement is trying to track where value goes, where the value of their printed money goes. That being said, let's recap, and the recap is Bitcoin miners, move your coins onto the Ethereum network. That's really the best way for you to sell or retain your operations and not have these giant dips, I believe, right? Because you're not flooding the market with Bitcoin, right? So move it onto the Ethereum, guys. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Am I crazy? I really appreciate any opinions, any education that you could provide me, because this is not trivial. This is like, we have 1,000 times multipliers in this particular field. So let's talk about it. Let's enlighten each other. Thanks for watching. I know I'm not getting any prettier, but I'm doing my best.